I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Dr. Bones, listening to Dr. Bones.
Good afternoon, this is Dr. Bones Live, and today our guest I've been waiting to have on the show for a long time. They finally have a minute to stop by and say hello. Welcome, Hi Lo.
Hey, you alright, man?
What's going on, guys? How are you?
Yeah, we're good, mate. You?
Very good, thanks. So happy to have you on the show because I've got a whack full of questions, so we'll see if we can get to them all. And at some point too, we're gonna give Nessie a call because she wants to ask you guys a few questions as well.
Oh, awesome. That'd be nice.
So first off, and since this is your first time on here, where did the name Hi Lo come from? Was it just kind of like a perfect mix of like how you guys started recording together and playing together?
What's that say? When we started recording and playing together.
Meaning like, we had a bunch of highs, had a bunch of lows, saying, you know what, let's go with that. Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good. It cut out a little bit, Brian. We didn't hear what you said.
All right. What I was saying was the name Hi Lo. I was asking, where did it come from? I said, was it essentially kind of based on when you guys first started recording? You guys had some highs and lows, that sort of thing, or just kind of come up and pull out of thin air?
It comes from a Nada Surf album. Is it their first album? Their first album, which is just called High Low. Me and Steve loved it growing up, listening to it, so it just made sense.
Well, on that note, how long have you guys known each other? How long have you guys been friends for?
Oh dear.
Oh.
Yeah, about 10 years now.
Oh, there you go. So when you guys first started hanging out, were you guys already playing instruments, or did you kind of pick up along the way, then started playing together?
Well, you was doing your... Yeah, I was doing my own solo stuff, and then me and Steve got talking, and he needed a bass player, so it was as simple as that. He just said to me, come and play bass.
Oh, that makes things really easy. So when you first started recording, first started playing together, forget the recording aspect of it right now, but when you first started playing together, was it just, since one of you was doing the solo, were you just kind of, how can I put this? Were you just kind of essentially backing him up and then you kind of just developed the sound from there, or did you guys have an idea of like where you wanted to go with the sound you were starting with?
Well, I think when we first started the high-low stuff, I demoed some ideas, and I knew Lee would really like the sort of direction it was going in, and then we started collaborating, and it just sort of went from there, really, didn't it?
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, the first EP just kind of wrote itself, and then the second EP just followed pretty quickly, didn't it?
Yeah, just exactly the same thing.
Managed to sort of piece it together in a couple of months, and...
Yeah, it was nearly a full album, wasn't it? Both EPs together.
Yeah.
Well, it's an interesting, a title, I guess, for your genre of music. I know a lot of people don't like necessarily be classified as one specific genre, but fuzz rock. I mean, that's kind of one that stuck out. And I mean, I know the gist of it, like fuzz meaning grunge, but you guys have kind of, in a sense, perfect the sound because it's not exactly the easiest thing to do continually and make it sound decent without, kind of little hiccups or bumps here or there.
I think sometimes that's part of it, like the beauty of it. It's raw and it's natural. It's just what we do, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just the same as stuff we listened to in the late 80s and 90s, those bands, that they had that rawness. So to us, that's still part of it. I think we like it.
So it's pretty much safe to say that I guess the late 80s, early 90s were like heavy influence on your music.
Definitely. Yeah, without a doubt.
Now, you guys do have, you just did the crowdfunding album, which was outstanding. I mean, I know it took a while, but it finally came through. But before that, you guys did, you guys had a few EPs. You had Ray Gun and, there was here, you had Ray Gun and you had 40. And then you had the Sofa Sessions. Now, the Sofa Sessions was kind of a funny name. Was that just kind of like, what we'll put a bunch of songs together and we'll name this because it sounds funny, but the music's good anyways.
That's one way of putting it.
It was, I suppose, the idea of doing the acoustic versions, and it was literally sitting on a sofa playing them, and it just kind of, I don't know.
It was just recorded that way, sitting on the sofa playing the songs. I mean, most of the songs start that way anyway, so it's nice to go back and get like it was wrote.
Sorry, you broke up there just for one moment. Could you just repeat yourself? Sorry.
I was just saying that it's nice to go back and record a song how it was first wrote, like, because if Steve sits on an acoustic on his own writing a song and then we build it, it's nice to go back and have a finished version of how it actually started.
Now, when you guys did that, did you add anything extra to the songs, or was it kind of just went back to the basics?
I think most of it is stripped right back, just bare, maybe one or two guitars and one or two vocals. I think maybe one or two of the songs might have had some extra bits, but it was just pretty much strip it right back, so it was quite different to the EP or the album version.
Right on, but like I said, the solo sessions that just popped out. I was like, that's actually really funny, but the music good too. So it's kind of got your perfect mix there. You kind of got the audience's attention with a funny name, but the music good. So it's our basic stuff. So right on with that. Now, excuse me. With the whole recording process, because I know it can be kind of quite grueling sometimes. Your crowdfunding album, "Stuck in the Void." Now, this took a bit of time with good reason because you were kind of perfecting things the way you wanted. Now, did you have any major issues along the way, or something that you want to talk about, or do you want to kind of skip that part of it?
We had one major issue. Obviously, our drummer left. He had just recorded all of his parts, and then we started mixing. And he decided to leave. So we had to go back and start from scratch with Steve playing drums like he did on the EPs. And that was a major big deal for us because we was bang on time with the Kickstarter and everything. So obviously there was a lot of pressure. But that's the main issue, wasn't it? The rest just flows nicely, but just drummer issues.
You know what? You're not the first. You won't be the last band with those kind of issues. Like, I always refer to the drummer issues as a spinal tap syndrome.
Yeah, that's what we've definitely got.
Except I'm sure he didn't leave because of a green thumb issue.
Yeah, but that was the main big deal because obviously the album was all there. It was all recorded. So we had to go back and redo everything. More studio time, more money. It was crazy.
That I couldn't even imagine that happening, but you know what? End the product is you got it out and you did well with it. Now, with the recording of these songs, after the EPs that you did put out, had you guys already started thinking of these songs already, or some of them maybe you reworked of something you did before, just kind of changed it up a little bit?
Some of them were pre-demoed for the EPs when we wrote them. And one or two of them were quite old songs, weren't they? They were done 5 6 years ago.
Yeah, definitely.
And they come to light when we're sort of writing the new songs, and they fit in quite well. So it's perfect time to bring them back and finish them off.
Oh, you know what? I'm just curious with that because it's not something that unless people know the background of some of those songs, they're not going to be able to tell, which is not a bad thing, mind you. I was just listening to the flow of it because when she sent me the link for it, I've listened to the album quite a few times already, and just listening to the flow of it and just kind of dissecting in my own way, and it's one of those things I noticed with the album in particular was a lot of times there is intentionally and a lot of times there is unintentionally where there's a flow of song titles like that kind of mix and match into one. They don't necessarily mean they were initially meant to go together, just the way they flowed. Because with a lot of different names on the album, they kind of similar, or at least we'll call it the storylines kind of similar. And when I was looking at them, there's a couple that stuck out because I'm looking and I see like a songs like Surf Tank, and then it's kind of a cool concept. Then you go into Crashland.
say how it is. It's just what we come up with at the start of writing the songs. Yeah, it's just sticks. We can't see the sense in trying to rename a song once we've known it as Crashland or Surf Tank for 4 months, 5 months. It's hard to rename it. So it's just the Goonie side of us, really.
No, fair enough. I'm just curious about that, just because like I said, I was noticing. I love the way the songs flow, and I was like, whoa, these song titles are kind of jumping back and forth all over the place. And like I said, there's not a problem with that at all. It just a lot of times that's why I kind of look for to see if there is something underlying that either that was either done intentionally or unintentionally, and sometimes like. It just fits together the way it does because a lot of people don't take into account that it takes a lot to put a whole album together and get the songs lined up the way you want them to sound, because that's essentially what the album's about, is making it flow properly, where it's the point where people are gonna keep being into it without getting bored.
Yeah, definitely. It was hard doing the sequence of the tracks. Yeah, picking what songs and what order. I think we changed it.
We changed it. Yeah, we changed it loads of times. At the last minute, it got changed.
Yeah, I would have imagined, just because like it's one of those things that's it's very tough, and it's always nice to hear the final product. And with the huge Kickstarter project you had going on, at least people know this way that that you guys are putting like serious time into this, and that this is not just something that. It's not just a project you want to do, but something. It's like a love, a passion you've been wanting to get done for so long, and now the resources are finally there, and you're going to put your all into it, and just pretty much show everybody what you got music wise.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're going to get into a song here. We'll be back in a few minutes, and this was the single, I believe, from Stuck in a Void. And speaking of Crashland. We're going to hear this one first. So we'll be back in about 3.5 minutes. And here's the first track out by Hilo called Crashland.